Well, I think that we've covered a lot of ground about storytelling and how people can get some materials and ideas and get to storytelling festivals, but I don't want to talk anymore. I want to hear Stewart Cameron tell a tale, so go to it.
Okay.
Your own choice.
Well, since I've started off with a song and I have mentioned the folk tellers, I'd like to tell you a tale I got from them, and it's called The Wonderful Wood. Once there was a vile and wicked king, and his major sport and occupation was to hunt down all the young maidens in the community. And when he had found them and caught them and had his wicked way with them, he would kill them with his sharp blade. Well, needless to say, all the mothers and fathers, they sent their daughters far away if they could. But there was one old woman who couldn't afford to send her daughter away, so she kept her hid in her cottage beside the wonderful wood. Now, everyone was afraid of this wonderful wood, mainly because of the giant oak tree that lived there. Anyways, time went on, and no one knew that the daughter was hid there. And the woman and her daughter would make their living by carding the wood, the wool, and spinning it into hanks of wool. And every week, the woman would go to the market in order to sell the hanks of wool in order that they may live. But it just so happened that one day, the old woman was overcome with an illness, and she couldn't get out of bed, and she couldn't go to the market. And if the daughter did not go in her stead, the both of them would surely starve. They had no choice in the matter. So the old woman dressed up the daughter in a hood and a cloak and gave her a basket full of the hanks of wool to sell in the town. And she told the daughter to go all the way as quickly as she could, all the way around the wonderful wood, although to go through the wood was the quickest way. And she told her to go all the way on tiptoe and make not a sound, for fear of the evil king. Well, she blessed her daughter and kissed her, and away the daughter went. And the daughter went down the road all on tiptoe until she came to the edge of the wonderful wood. And just as she was going along the pathway, who should she see off in the distance riding with his men but the king himself? She stood stock still, but the king had seen her, and he drew rein on his horse and started galloping towards her. What could she do? She had no choice. She curled up her skirts and she tiptoed in to the wonderful wood. She walked through the wood to where the oaken tree stood, and she curtsied, did she, to the oaken tree, and he let her go down to the town from the wood, the wonderful wood. And that was all right, wasn't it? But the king, he had seen where she had gone, and he drew a horse in front of the wonderful wood, and he saw where she had gone, and he saw the tree there, and he said to himself that where she can go, I can go also. And he rode through the wood to where the oaken tree stood, and he cursed, did he, at the oaken tree, and he drew out his sharp blade for to murder the maid. But a bough fell quick, and it broke his neck in the woods, the wonderful woods. And that was all right, wasn't it? But his men, the men of the king, they were riding by, and they had seen what had happened, and that wasn't all right, was it? They seen where the king had gone, and infuriated by the action of the tree, they coursed through the woods to where the oaken tree stood, to cut down the tree, the oaken tree. But the tree gave a groan, and it summoned its own, and the trees closed about, and they never got out of the wood, the wonderful wood. And that was all right, wasn't it? The wonderful wood.
Well, that is the most unusual tale. And the rhythm and the words, it's poetic. It's got a real rhyme scheme also in it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Love the way you tell that. That's
Fascinating.
a spooky one, too.
Yeah.
Well,
We
you
were
see,
just talking about spooky tales, so that's what brought that to mind as well.
I like that one. Can I steal it?
For sure. That's what tales are for.